Hello everyone, welcome to It's Crochet O'Clock. My name is Stephanie and today we are working on part 2 of Pip and Poppycock's Gypsy Queen shawl. In part 1 we learned how to make our base square, and in this portion we're going to learn how to connect our squares because this shawl is a join as you go shawl, which is great fun, means that we don't have to sit there for hours and connect squares at the end. Yay! For this project, I am using Stylecraft's Classique yarn. It's cotton in 4-ply, and I am using a 3.25 millimeter hook. So let's get right into this, which is the reason that you guys are here. Here's the base square that we made, and at the end of the first video, I asked you to work up another square and work 3 sides to it, 3 corners. So that is what I have done here. Now at this point, you are going to work your single crochet if you haven't already. I have finished doing my 7 double crochets on that side of my corner. So I am going to single crochet in this first chain 7 space, and then I am going to chain 3. There's 1, 2, and 3. Now if you remember, these chains on the outer edge are chain 7. We're going to use one of these chains to connect. So here is one of my squares. We're going to connect to this chain right there, and we're just going to slip knot. So you just insert your hook into that chain, pull your yarn through, and then slip stitch. Did I say slip knot before? I meant slip stitch. So that's going to count as your 6th chain. We are going to chain 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. And then we are going to single crochet in this next chain space. And now we are going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, and 3. Now we are going to pick up the next chain 7 space right there. Same as we just got finished doing it. We're just going to make a slip stitch into that chain. There's our slip stitch. That counts as 4 in our chain. We are going to chain 3 more. 1, 2, 3. And we are going to move into this next chain 5 space and simply work a single crochet. Now it's time to work our last corner because this is where we started. So I am going to go straight into my 7 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Now I need to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Now 7 more double crochets into that same space, same as all the other corners. Nothing about this corner is different. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Now I'm just going to fasten off here with a slip stitch into those slip stitches we made earlier. Pull a loop through. There we go. Plenty of yarn to weave in. So we have connected our first square to the other one. Now you'll notice that we did not connect the corners. That is because the outside corners, for right now, we are simply going to hold these together with stitch markers. And we will connect the outside when the border comes. So this is my base square down here at the bottom. And if you have downloaded, or if you're looking at Pip and Poppycock's pattern, her written pattern, she shows you we have a base square, and then this is square number 1. Now we need to attach square number 2. Square number 3 will be here, 4, and then 5. So as we move through this process, we will always be working from left to right. We will never be attaching a horizontal coming from this way. Whenever we're never going to attach here. Now if we're working on this side, we're going to attach to this one. If we have one directly above this, we will attach to above, but you don't connect your corners each time as you go around, and it'll make more sense as we go through. Another thing is, in the written pattern, she actually has a blank chart of the shawl in each square. So if you're working different colors and you want to work out a pattern within your colors, then that's very good. And it's also very good to have, because you might get, you know, kind of lost, or if you're working your squares and you're not sure where you need to stop to connect, you can look at it. If you've marked off your squares that you've worked, you know what side you're working on. So we're just going to move in to square number 2 now and connecting it. So here is my second square, and what I have done is we started right here. I worked my 2 sets of chains. I have a corner, chains, these are the chain 7s, corner, chain 7s, and I have paused right here. I've worked my 7 double crochets working into this next corner, but because we are placing this one here and we have something to connect to over here on our left, I'm just going to turn my work. Remember, this is the bottom. We are going to chain up 3. It's the same way that we connected in the chain 7s. There's 1, 2, and 3. But instead of going into a loop on the side, we are going to grab this corner right here, insert our hook, yarn over, and slip stitch. Now we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to finish this corner. So we're going to yarn over, and we need to work 7 double crochets there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Now we are going to single crochet into that chain 5 space, and now you can see where this is supposed to be. Let me flip this around so you can see it the right way laid out. So this is the way that it's going to be. Now we need to connect here the same way that we connected there. So I am going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to look for that chain 7, and I am going to slip stitch. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now we will single crochet into our next chain 5 space, chain 3 again, 1, 2, and 3. Now we are going to connect again. You see our square. We need to connect to that chain 7 space with our slip stitch, same as we've been doing, without dropping your yarn like me. So there goes slip stitch, chain 3, there's 1, 2, and 3. And now we are going to single crochet, and I need to make my last corner because that is where I started on this one. So I need 7 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 double crochets in that same space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we are going to finish off this square by slip stitching right over there and then pull through. And now I need to place a stitch marker over here because this is an outside edge. Let's get into here, right through that chain 7 and right through this chain 7. So here we have the base square, square number 1, square number 2. So what I am going to do is I am going to attach square number 3 because it's the exact same as doing square number 1. And when I come back, I will show you how to attach square number 4, which is a center square. So you will know what to do for that one. See you in just a few moments. Okay, we are back. I have connected my square 3. Remember, it's the same as square 1. All we're doing is just connecting on the webbing and then attaching with a stitch marker on the outside border. Now for middle squares, they are a little bit trickier. Not that they're worked any differently, you just have to pause in different places and attach in 3 different places, whereas before we were only attaching in 2 or 1 area. So to begin this square, I started right here. This is a chain 7, this is a chain 7, here's my corner, and this is actually going to be my top point. Here's a chain 7 and here's a chain 7. But now if you look at the work, I have something to the left of me. So I need to attach to that one the same way that I attached to this one. I attached square 2 to square 1, so square 4 gets attached to square 3 rather. So I'm just going, for ease of filming, I'm just going to turn this for just a second, a couple seconds actually. So just like this corner that we did right here, we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we are going to pick up the corner from this last, there you go, slip stitch, and chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now we need to work 7 double crochets, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we're going to single crochet into that next chain 5 space, and now it's time to connect. We're going to connect to square 1 right here on the sides. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, grab this first chain 7, and then we are going to slip stitch. There we go, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then single crochet. Oh, I don't want that tail in there. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to find, there's that other chain 7 right there. It's on that same side, slip stitch. That's our 4th chain, remember. So we need to chain 3 more. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then single crochet to that chain 5 space, that last chain 5 space on that side. Now we are going to work 7 double crochets. This is going to be our bottom corner. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit so you can see. So this is the bottom of our shawl. This is the bottom point, and it's turned around right now. And because we have something above it, or below, depending on how you're looking at it, we need to connect this. Now it doesn't matter if you connect it over the top of this or if you connect it under. What matters is that you do it the same way throughout your entire shawl. Just be uniform with it. That's all that really matters. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I like to do mine above, so I'm going to insert my hook into the top of that base square, and we're going to work a slip stitch and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to pivot my work yet again, and now we need to work 7 double crochets to finish this corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we are going to single crochet into that first chain 5 space on this side. Let me turn my work again, because now we need to connect, goodness, that tail from that square. Now we need to connect, okay, right there. We're connecting right here. So just like we've done on the previous ones, we will chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to slip stitch into there, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, maybe, and then we are going to do the same thing that we have done previously. We are going to slip stitch into the last chain 7 space there, slip stitch, now chain 3, 1, 2, 3, flipping back to square 4, we are going to single crochet, and now we just need to complete our last corner, so that's 7 double crochets. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we are going to chain 7. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then 7 double crochets one more time. Oop, without getting that chain caught in it. Yarn over. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I'm just going to slip stitch and fasten off. So this is what we have done so far. Remember, this is our base square here. This is square 1 and then 2, 3 and 4. So 5 is going to go right here, and you will connect it the same way that you connected right here. You're going to attach to this corner because we have something to the left of it, and then you are going to attach right here, and you will connect your corners with a stitch marker. Remember, we will be working those together with the border. Something to always try to remember is you will always be attaching to the left, always to the left. Each time you place a square, if there is a corner directly across from it on the left, you're going to be attaching to it. If there is a corner directly below it, you are going to be attaching to it. So in our next section, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Your next row you will have 6 and 7, and 7 will be attaching to 6 this way and to 1 this way, but you're not going to attach to 4 here because this is a corner going up, so you're never going to attach this way. And another thing to remember is it doesn't matter if you do it on whenever you're connecting top to bottom. It doesn't matter if you do it over the top or under, but what matters is that you keep it uniform and you do the same thing each time you connect. So you will continue working this until you can count 13 squares going across the top if you're following the pattern. If that's too big for you, of course you can stop before then, and if it's not big enough for you, you can absolutely continue on. But once you get to the size that you are comfortable with, that is when we will see each other again for the half motifs or the half squares, and that is going to straighten out the top of our shawl. So until then, thank you for watching.